What a season Sunderland are having.
Picked up by Trey Hume. Hume's ball in. Ballard is there to flick on, and it's flicked in. Brian Broby for Sunderland.
Back in the Premier League for the first time since 2017, and the Black Cats are absolutely flying.
It's a decent one, and it's headed home. Brilliantly done by Brian Broby.
Old Sunderland, the way in which they set up defensively, they're very well organised. They've got a real threat going forward. They've got a momentum in the stadium. The fans are with them. They're back in the Premier League.
Not bad for a club that was playing in League One just a few years ago.
It is heartbreak for Sunderland. They were looking to avoid a fourth successive season in the third tier, but it just wasn't to be for them. They just left themselves with too much to do.
The atmosphere at the Stadium of Light has been electric, with over 46,000 fans showing up every week, and the team is giving them plenty to cheer about.
You know, when it's rocking up there, it truly does rock, and they've done brilliantly this season.
Their return to the top flight has been nothing short of incredible. Usually, newly promoted teams spend their first season just fighting to survive. But Sunderland, they've done the exact opposite. They've had one of the best starts by a promoted side in more than 10 years. They're proving that they belong with the big boys.
You're getting back into the league and thriving and doing well, and that's what Sunderland are doing. So it's great for the Premier League and great for English football.
They've already taken down some big names. They got a huge result against Arsenal. They scored twice against them at a period of time where nobody could score against Arsenal. They also got a huge win against Chelsea. These guys are not messing around. It's a stunning rise for a team that was stuck in the third division not too long ago. So the question is, what's driving this incredible run of form?
I'm glad that we're seeing what we're seeing from Leeds and from Burnley and from Sunderland, which is a more pragmatic style, but I think equally as effective and more. I actually think, to be fair, when you see a team play like that, I really admire it and love watching it.
Let me make it very clear, Sunderland's amazing start is not luck. It's the result of very smart coaching, very clever signings, and a team that works its heart out every single game. The head coach, Regis Le Bris, who came in from France in 2024, has completely changed the way this team plays. He didn't come in to try and make Sunderland a possession-heavy side that tries to outplay the big team. Instead, he built a system that fits them perfectly. They stay compact, disciplined, and then they hit lightning fast on the counter. Under Le Bris, Sunderland usually line up in a 4-4-2 that often turns into a 4-4-1-1 when pressing. They are not afraid to let the opposition have the ball. They just make sure that it's in harmless area. I mean, look at their performance against Chelsea. They ran a 5-4-1 and they were literally impossible to break down. Chelsea kept passing the ball around and around, but they couldn't get near Sunderland's box. It was all foreplay, zero penetration. But what really makes the Black Cats stand out is what happens after they win the ball. These guys are not just parking the bus and praying to come out with a result. As soon as they win back possession, they don't waste a second. You'll see a midfielder or defender play the ball forward, usually with a vertical pass or a long ball into space. Their philosophy is very simple. Use their pace, use their power, and hit teams before they can recover. Their wingers and forwards thrive in these moments when they can turn defense into attack in seconds. Then, like I said earlier, it's not just about the tactics. Sunderland also nailed their recruitment. They spent over £160 million on 15 new players in the summer. But as we have seen with Liverpool, just because you spend a lot doesn't mean that it will correlate to wins. So they spent wisely. And those new faces have blended perfectly with the existing core, giving Sunderland both depth and balance. Let's start with probably the most important signing, which was Granit Xhaka. Now, I personally thought Xhaka came back because he just didn't want to be managed by Ten Hag at Leverkusen, but it's clear that he saw the vision for Sunderland's project. I mean, this guy's been the heartbeat of the whole team. He's the leader, the organizer, the man who offers calm in the chaos that is the middle of the park in the Premier League. It's funny, Xhaka has played so many big games for Arsenal, for Leverkusen, for the Switzerland national team, and yet at 33, he's probably playing some of the best football of his career, and he's showing exactly why Sunderland made him the captain the moment he arrived. He's taken complete control of the midfield. He sits deep right in front of the defense and he just dictates the play. Sometimes he's making an interception to break up the play, other times he's starting attacks with his long passing. And that's the beauty of what Xhaka does. He's involved in every phase of the game. You can constantly see him pointing, talking, organizing things on the pitch. It's like having a second coach. Defensively, he's been unreal. He covers more ground than players 10 years younger than him. He wins duels, he dominates in the air. I mean, in Sunderland's 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest, he ran over 11 kilometers, making tackles, interceptions, and then on top of doing the dirty work, he's also controlling the tempo of matches. How many other midfielders are doing both tasks at an elite level right now in the Premier League. He got 3 assists in his first 9 games, all in massive moments. Each assist was different, by the way. It was a set-piece delivery for Omar Alderete's header. It was a clever flick over Villa's back line for Wilson Isidor. Those are match-winning contributions, and they're coming from Sunderland's defensive midfielder. Right now, he's creating more chances than anyone else in the Sunderland squad, and he's even ranking among the Premier League leaders for key passes. The guy's raised the bar for everyone around him. Now, if Xhaka is Sunderland's brain and backbone, Wilson Isidor is the team's go-to attacking guy. He's the man who makes everything count in front of goal. The 25-year-old French striker has looked like he's been playing in the Prem for years. Now, maybe 4 goals in his first 9 games might not sound like world-beating numbers, but when you consider the fact that Sunderland don't create a ton of chances per match, I actually think it's pretty elite numbers. It means every time there's been a big moment created for him, he's pretty much delivered. From the start of the season, he's been the face of Sunderland's attacking play. He opened his Premier League account in their first game back, which was a 3-0 win over West Ham. And since then, he's just continued to do well. His finish at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea pretty much summed up what he's about. Calm under pressure, lethal in front of goal. That's the type of quality you're getting. And again, what makes Isidor so good is his efficiency, because Sunderland don't flood the box with chances. So when he does get an opportunity, he has to make the most of it. And that's exactly why so many of his goals have come in big moments. Whether it's snatching a winner against Brentford in the 90th minute or getting the equalizer against Aston Villa, Isidor has become the guy who decides matches. I think what's really impressed me the most about Isidor is how complete his game has become. He's got the pace to run in behind, but he also has the strength to hold off defenders. And he even has the technique to finish the ball in a variety of ways. Early in his career, he was known as a guy who just scored the spectacular goals. It got to a point where fans would even joke if he could ever even score a normal goal. But in the Premier League, he's matured. I mean, he still has the flair he had before, but he's been a lot more consistent. That goal against Aston Villa was the perfect example. He just did the basics at a high level. Timing his run perfectly, staying composed in front of goal, and then sliding the ball under Emiliano Martinez. He's got that pure striker's instinct, and the evolution shows how well he's adapting. Sunderland hit fast and direct, so Isidor's job is to be in the right place when the counter comes, and he's mastered that. His movement is very clever, and he understands where players like Xhaka and Talbi can find him. In fact, the partnership between Xhaka's passing and Isidor's runs have been one of the league's most underrated duos so far. Several of Sunderland's best moments have started with a Xhaka ball and ended with an Isidor finish. Even with all the tactical details, what stands out the most about Isidor is his character. He's got that mix of confidence and joy of playing football that fans love. Every goal is followed by a huge grin, a celebration full of passion. It's so obvious that he has a connection to the Sunderland crowd. The supporters have embraced him completely, and it's easy to see why. He joined when the club was still fighting in the Championship, helped them get promoted, and now he's leading the charge in the Premier League. His rise is very much similar to Sunderland's own story, going from overlooked to unstoppable. If the Black Cats can keep this run going, you can bet that Isidor will be right at the center of it all, smiling, celebrating, and scoring the kind of goals that makes this fairy tale season feel very real. Now, every top team has that one player who doesn't always grab the headlines, but makes everything tick. And for Sunderland, that player is Noah Sadiki. At just 21 years old, the Belgian-born midfielder has become the heart of the team's engine. This guy runs tirelessly to keep everything going. He might not have the star power or experience of someone like Granit Xhaka, but even if you watch Sunderland play for like 5 minutes, you will notice this guy. He's always working hard, he's always in the right places, constantly disrupting the play. From the moment this guy stepped onto a Premier League pitch, he just looked like he belonged. He wasn't the flashiest signing that Sunderland made this summer, but he's easily been one of the smartest. He slotted into Le Bris' system perfectly, playing as a box-to-box midfielder next to Xhaka in a 4-2-3-1 setup. His role is very simple, but also incredibly demanding. His job is to win the ball, cover ground, and then link the play. And he does all three relentlessly. Because when you watch him play, the first thing that comes into mind is, wow, this guy has a lot of energy. He's got more stamina than Bonnie Blue. He's everywhere. Against Chelsea, he ran circles around Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, 2 players worth over £200 million combined. He was constantly closing them down and breaking up their rhythm. But what also makes Sadiki so special is that he's not just a destroyer. He's very calm and composed on the ball when he wins it back. And that's something that you don't always see from high energy midfielders. When this guy wins possession back, he doesn't panic or rush. He looks up, he picks up the right pass, and he moves the play forward. You're never really going to see this guy get a ton of assists or be at the top of the assist charts, but he's the one often starting the moves that lead to a chance or lead to a goal. His partnership with Xhaka has been one of the key reasons that Sunderland are punching so far above their weight. It's the perfect balance. Xhaka brings the experience and the control, and then Sadiki brings the legs and intensity. When Xhaka steps up to press or contest an aerial duel, Sadiki is right there sweeping up the loose ball. And then when Sunderland counter, he's the one driving forward to support the attack. They complement each other beautifully. Now, as great as the midfield and attack have been, we have to talk about the foundation of the Sunderland team, and that's their center back pairing of Dan Ballard and Omar Alderete. These two have become the backbone of the team. A fantastic center back partnership that blends aggression and fearlessness. I mean, where else in world football would you see a Northern Irish guy partnering a South American at the back? These two have made Sunderland's backline into one of the toughest in the Premier League. Let's start with Dan Ballard. He's only 24 years old. He's gone from Arsenal's academy to battling in the Championship to now starting in the Premier League in just a few years. Now, there were actually questions about whether this guy could make the jump up, but he's answered them pretty emphatically. The way this guy defends, you would think that if Sunderland concede a goal, he's gonna go homeless or something. He defends with his entire body, every tackle, every duel won. He takes pride in every defensive movement. Like, you will see this guy celebrating clearances like it's a goal, and you love to see defenders actually defend with pride. And the great thing about him is he can get you goals too. His header on opening day against West Ham in front of a roaring Stadium of Light crowd was a dream moment. It very much set the tone for his season. Then there's Omar Alderete. He was Sunderland's summer signing from Getafe, and what a pickup he's been. Now, for those of you who haven't watched La Liga, Getafe is like Stoke City if they took roids. So that guy's brought that aggression with him to the Premier League, and that's why the Paraguayan international has slotted in so seamlessly. At 6'2", left-footed and technically sound, he's given this defense so much balance and composure. He's so good in the air and reads the game beautifully. He's the type of defender that blocks out attacks before they've even started. And just like Ballard, he's already had his big moment too. A powerful header to win the game at Nottingham Forest after meeting Xhaka's free kick perfectly. The goal and the celebration that followed showed exactly what Sunderland fans love. They want a player who fights, has passion, and actually has a connection to the fan base. What makes this pairing click so fast is how naturally their games complement each other. Ballard is the aggressor. He's the one who steps up, wins the duels, and throws himself at everything. Alderete is the organizer. He positions himself perfectly, he's always communicating, and he provides that safety net behind. Together, these guys are impossible to break down. Opponents rarely get clear-cut opportunities, and when they do, one of these guys usually blocks it. Their chemistry was clear from their very first start together, and it's only improved since. And I mean, the numbers tell the whole story. In their first 9 games, they only conceded 6 goals. They had 4 clean sheets in 8 games, and they won countless duels both in the air and on the ground. You have to keep in mind, for a newly promoted team, that's exceptional. Even when their fullbacks rotated, with Mukiele coming in on the right or Reynaldo going on the left, the Ballard-Alderete pairing remained constant, and it's because of these two guys that Sunderland looks so confident defending deep and so comfortable soaking up pressure. It's been a long time since Sunderland fans could say they fully trusted their center backs, and now they've got 2 they can build around for years. Now, I mentioned this guy earlier, but let's go into more depth about Mukiele. When Sunderland signed this guy from PSG, a lot of eyebrows were raised. Why would a Champions League level defender join a newly promoted club? But the move has worked out perfectly for both sides. Mukiele wanted regular minutes, and Sunderland needed experience, leadership, and versatility at the back. The result? They now have a top quality right back who can also play at center back, and someone who's raised the entire team's level. Recently, Mukiele has slotted in mostly at right back. At 27, he's very much still in his prime, and it shows. He's powerful, he's fast, he's got the athleticism to keep up with the league's best wingers, and he's got the strength to overpower them. Standing at 6'1", he's a big presence for a fullback, and that's helped Sunderland massively when defending crosses or set pieces. And we have seen how big set pieces have become in the Premier League. Thanks a lot, Arteta. What's great about Mukiele, though, he's not just there to defend. He loves to get forward, and he's already had big moments of his own. He got a goal in the 2-0 win over Wolves. What makes him so valuable to Regis Le Bris is his flexibility. He's comfortable playing center back if needed, or be a part of a back 3. When Sunderland want to tighten up late in games, Mukiele's ability to tuck inside has been crucial. In that Wolves game, Le Bris deployed a backline of Mukiele, Ballard, Alderete, and Hume, and it was one of Sunderland's strongest backline. Mukiele's experience at PSG PSG and Leipzig means he's already faced some of the best attackers in the world, and that's why he's so calm under pressure. He's brought that European poise and professionalism into Sunderland's squad, helping the younger players adapt to the demands of Premier League football. Now, if the defense gives Sunderland structure, their wingers give them the spark. The arrival of Adingra and Talbi has injected pace, creativity, and excitement into their attack. Both of these guys are young, both are fearless, and both are capable of turning a game on its head. They've given Sunderland a new edge out wide. Adingra, who's only 23, was signed from Brighton after impressing on loan at Union Saint-Gilloise. He's very quick, tricky, and loves to take on defenders. Playing mostly on the left, he loves to cut inside on his right foot to either shoot or create an opportunity. He's exactly the type of winger who just makes things happen with his speed. Even when he's not scoring, he's drawing fouls, he's forcing mistakes, and he's stretching the back line. One of his best moments came against Brentford when his run won the penalty that put Sunderland ahead. This guy gives Sunderland a genuine threat on the flanks. And then you have Talbi, who's been the breakout star. At just 20 years old, he's already written his name into Sunderland history with his 93rd minute winner at Stamford Bridge. Despite how young he is, he doesn't seem fazed by the big stage at all. His running and quick feet make him so dangerous when he's on the pitch. Playing on the right, he's left-footed, so he loves to cut inside and just drift into those central areas to combine with Isidor. Le Bris has been very smart with how he's used the pair. Adingra often starts, offering pace and pressing from the first whistle, while Talbi is unleashed later in games to attack tired defenders. The two have already shown great chemistry. Sometimes they switch mid-game to confuse the opponent. And while you can argue that they're still both learning the defensive responsibilities of Premier League football, their energy and confidence have taken Sunderland's counter-attacking game to another level. Now, how can I forget Chris Rigg? Every great story needs a local hero, and for Sunderland, that's Chris Rigg. Still a teenager, this guy's living the dream of every young fan, playing for the club he grew up supporting, now in the Premier League. Rigg has been with Sunderland since his childhood, and now he's breaking into the first team. He plays as the attacking midfielder in the number 10 role, and he's a fantastic player. He's technically gifted, he reads the game very well, and he's brave enough to demand the ball even against these elite teams. One of the best things about Rigg's development is the mentorship he's been getting from Granit Xhaka. Reports came out that Xhaka actually pulled him aside in training to demand a higher standard from him. That's how much the team believes in this kid. And by all accounts, Rigg has responded brilliantly. He's training harder, he's performing better on the pitch. For fans, seeing one of their own out there among the big name signings means everything. Rigg represents Sunderland's commitment to keeping the academy pathway alive, even as the club grows. His presence keeps the local spirit beating in a squad full of international stars. He's still raw and developing, but his intelligence and technical ability is so clear. Now, of course, Sunderland's success has been a collective effort, so some other players also deserve a nod. Roofs, for example, has done very well between the posts. The new Dutch signing took on the number 1 spot, and he's already earned Man of the Match awards for some of his great performances. Then you have Maenda, who at just 20 years old kicked off Sunderland's Premier League season in style with that goal against West Ham. This guy's full of energy and a great option off the bench. Then you have Brian Brobby, the powerful striker from Ajax, who joined late in the window. He's still settling in, but his strength and movement show that he can be a deadly partner with Isidor once he finds his rhythm. Then you have Enzo Lefebvre, the French midfielder signed from Rennes, and has been another smart piece of business. He's technically gifted, very composed, he offers creativity and possession. He's been used both as a central playmaker and a more advanced midfielder, linking very well with Xhaka and Sadiki. His penalty against Brentford opened Sunderland's account, and when you watch him play, his passing and vision gives the team another layer going forward. All these pieces, from the young stars to the new signings to the homegrown talents, they fit together very well under Le Bris' system. Sunderland have built a squad that's both balanced and exciting. Now, if I missed any players, it's probably because I've covered them in this documentary I made on Sunderland's journey to get to the Premier League. You gotta check it out right here.